On the other side, Time is standing quietly at the party. Just then, Lita comes to him. She has baked cookies for him. She says, "I saw you eating cookies. I won't ask who made those cookies. I just want you to like me. So I made cookies as best as I could. I will keep trying until you like me." Just then, an announcement for a dance is made, so Lita takes him to the dance floor. As soon as Time turns on his phone, he receives a message from Talai, along with a photo of Gorya. The message says, "If you want to see Gorya alive, come to this location and come alone." As soon as he sees the message, Time starts running from there. Now a message from a screwdriver appears on the screen which says, "It's time for F4 to be punished." In the next scene, we see that some people have tied Gorya to a chair. As soon as she regains consciousness, she looks around and asks everyone, "Why are you all doing this to me?" Talai says, "I gave you the red card. I want Time to feel how it is when someone he cares about gets hurt." On the other side, we see Time angrily going towards Talai. Just then, he gets a call from Kevin. Kevin explains, "Someone attacked Ren." Then Kevin asks, "Where are you?" Time says, "I am going to Talai's place." Kevin says, "Talk to MJ first." MJ explains, "There is a group called MTF. That group consists of people who received a red card, and this group has a connection with Fufa. Fufa was the same boy to whom Time had given a red card." Talai tells Gorya, "One of our boys, Fufa, got a red card. I am doing all this to get revenge for him." Gorya asks, "Was he your brother?" Talai laughs and says, "He was an idiot." Talai explains, "His dad was very good. I was an orphan. He adopted me, educated me, raised me. Fufa was like a brother to me. He was very talented. I knew his future would be bright, but F4 ruined his life." Gorya asks, "Are you not a student of the school?" Talai says, "I hacked the school system and enrolled my name." It turns out that Talai was an expert in computers, and he also worked in Fufa's dad's company. After receiving the red card, Fufa's condition became very bad. The school washed its hands of responsibility and said his condition was due to drowning in the pond. Seeing all this, Talai got very angry because no lawyer agreed to take the case, and all of his dad's money was spent on Fufa's treatment, which led to the factory also shutting down. Talai says, "When I entered the school, no one was being given a red card because Time had stopped that system. That's why I formed a team of people who hated F4. So I thought, I will get my revenge. You were also against them, but you forgave them so easily. Do you even know how bad they are? You still have a chance. Come to our side." Gorya says, "Your way of doing things is wrong. They have changed now." Talai says, "They will have to answer for whatever they did." Gorya says, "You still have time. We can find another way." But Talai gets angry, and in the meantime, Time also arrives there. He says to Talai, "Let Gorya go." Talai says, "I don't ruin people's lives like you." He shows him the red card and says, "You are responsible for this game. Do you even know how many people you have harmed? You give people red cards, hit them, and then fix everything by throwing money." All the guys grab him and start beating him up. Talai says, "Seeing you get beaten gives me great satisfaction." Gorya says, "You are not like this." Talai says, "I was always like this. I was just pretending to be good in front of you." Gorya says, "If you were bad, Fufa wouldn't have loved you so much. You're just a kid." Just then, a boy pushes Gorya down and shouts, "You talk too much." He was about to hit her again, but Talai takes a glass bottle and hits the boy hard on the head. Time says, "If you don't want to do all this, then don't." Talai says to him, "Shut up," and then hits him again. Gorya says, "Are you going to kill him?" Time says, "Don't worry about me. I'm not going to die so easily." She says, "Fight." Time says, "If I fight, I will lose." Talai shouts at him, "Shut up." The rest of the guys start to stop Talai and say, "If you don't stop, Time will die." Talai says, "If he dies, I will feel even better." He was about to hit Time with a stool, but Gorya frees her hand, runs over, and the stool that was about to hit Time falls on Gorya. She says, "That's enough. Stop now." Talai, who was already very angry, leaves from there. In the next scene, Gorya is in the hospital. Just then, she regains consciousness. Cunning tells Kevin, "Gorya has regained consciousness." She tells Gorya, "You were unconscious for a long time." So Gorya asks about Time, but Canning doesn't say anything. Gorya gets up and leaves, asks the nurse for Time's room, and goes there. All three guys were there. Gorya, crying, says to Time, "Get up, you can't leave me like this. I haven't even told you how much I love you yet." Now we see that Time was perfectly fine, and everyone starts laughing and celebrating Time being alive. So Gorya starts hitting Time with a pillow. Time stops her and says, "I love you too." Gorya, while hitting him, says, "This is not the time to say such things." Everyone is happily having fun with each other. Lita, hearing their conversation, leaves from there and also throws the flowers in the dustbin. Then, Ren meets Talai and says, "We will apologize to everyone we hurt." Fufa is also on the list. Talai says, "Doing that won't make anyone forgive you, because you have no idea how much you people have hurt them." In a flashback, we see Time had gone to everyone and apologized to them. In the present, Ren says, "Everyone has forgiven. Now only Fufa is left." Talai is about to get angry. Ren explains, "Time has changed after meeting Gorya. Your anger is completely justified, but put an end to this matter now." Talai says, "I will not end this so easily." Then he shows Ren a video in which Time is confessing that he himself was responsible for the red card game. Talai says, "I will post this video on the internet." Hearing this, Ren gets tense. On the other hand, as soon as Gorya reaches home, some people kidnap her and take her to Time's house. Time says, "I only said to bring Gorya, not to kidnap her." Gorya asks, "Why did you call me here?" Time says, "I needed to talk to you." He explains, "Ren went to meet Talai, and he has threatened to post my video. If this news gets out, everything will be over. My life will not be the same as before." Gorya asks, "What will you do now?" In a flashback scene, we see that after taking the phone from Talai, Time had posted the video himself. In the present, Gorya, while hitting him, asks, "Why did you do all this?" Time says, "I don't know what is going to happen." As soon as Gorya searches on the internet, she doesn't find anything there. Time says, "How can this be? I posted the video myself." Just then, Gorya receives a voice message from Talai. He says to her, "I'm sorry. Now I am not against F4. Thank you for making me understand. And also tell Time to check before posting a video next time. I had set it to only me, so no one else could see it." Time says, "I know I did very wrong, but I will fix everything, and I will try my best to become a good person." Gorya says, "Whatever problems come, we will face them together." She thanks Time and takes him with her. Outside, Time has ordered a telescope through which he shows Gorya a meteor shower. Gorya says, "I am seeing it for the first time, but unfortunately, it is only for a short time." Or, just then, Time shows her a pendant and says, "This will last forever. I had it specially made for you. It has Gorya and Time written on it. I love you very much, and I always will. Be my girlfriend." Gorya refuses him. Time asks, "Now what is the problem?" Gorya says, "You are still in a relationship with Lita." Time says, "In the mess with Talai, I completely forgot about Lita." Gorya says, "Lita is my friend, and I don't want to hurt her." Time says, "Don't worry, I will talk to Lita." So Gorya gives him back his pendant. Time says, "You keep it with you. After solving everything, I will propose to you again." Then Gorya starts to leave. Time says, "It's dangerous to go at night." He asks her, "Can you stay here for the night?" But Gorya refuses and leaves. But she accidentally breaks a vase. Just then, Lita sees them together and asks, "Gorya, what are you doing here?" And Time, "Aren't girls not allowed in your house at night?" Time was about to answer, but Lita silences him and demands an answer from Gorya. Just then, the maid comes and explains, "I gave Gorya permission to stay here. She is Time's personal maid." After Lita leaves, Gorya says, "Thank you" to her. The maid says, "I haven't helped you. You will have to pay for the vase you broke, and you won't have that much money, so I have hired you as a maid here." Gorya asks the price of the vase. The auntie says, 70,000. Hearing this, Gorya is shocked. The auntie says, "If you don't want to work here, then find another way to pay the money." So Gorya agrees. From the next day, Gorya starts working there. In the morning, when she goes to clean Time's room, she screams upon seeing Time. Time says, "This is my room, and don't worry, I am trying to talk to Lita, but she is not receiving my phone calls, so I will go to her house and talk." Just then, the maid comes and says, "I know you are Time's friend, but that doesn't mean you can talk to him all the time. Your next task is to feed Time." Gorya then feeds him. The next day, Lita is looking at photos of herself and Gorya when her parents arrive. They ask, "Will Time also come here?" Lita says, "He will definitely come because he knows his responsibilities." Lita's parents are only talking about the wedding when Time stops them and says, "I need to talk to you about something." But before Time can say anything, Lita interrupts, "I want to cancel the wedding." Her parents ask for the reason. Lita then stomps hard on Time's foot to make him angry and says to her parents, He gets angry over everything. No matter how much I try to explain to him, he always scolds me. Even on our first meeting, he left me in the middle of the road. Time asks her, "What is your problem?" Lita says, "I hate you." She tells her parents, "I don't want to marry him. He is not a good boy at all, and he's not my type either." Her dad says, "It will be as you wish." Then he says to Time, "We will cancel the wedding in such a way that neither party suffers any loss." In the next scene, Kevin picks Gorya up and puts her in the car. Time is also inside the car. Time asks her, "Can't you answer me now?" Gorya gives him his pendant and says, "Put this on me." Time puts the pendant on her. Gorya says, "This was the answer." Time says, "When did you give the answer?" Gorya says, "Putting on the pendant means I said yes." Time keeps looking at her. Gorya says, "Now we are a couple." Meanwhile, Time's mom also gets the news of the broken engagement. In the next scene, Gorya is talking to her mom while going home when she sees Ren standing outside her house. Gorya asks, "What happened?" Ren tells her, "Leave from here." But Gorya pushes him and goes inside. She sees that some people are throwing all the things from her house outside, and all this is the work of Time's mom. Now a past scene is shown in which MJ orders food from the same place where Om works. MJ takes the food and tells her to go back to work. Then at night, we see the two of them talking. Om reveals that her dream is to become a basketball player. She says she doesn't go to any school, nor is she part of any club. Then she explains that a competition is going to be held. If she wins, she won't need to practice anymore. MJ says, "I will help you with practice." The team they had defeated is now ready to take revenge. On the other hand, the auntie had informed Time about this. Gorya tries to stop those people, but they say, "We are just following orders." Gorya asks, "Who gave this order?" Just then, Miss Rosalind's manager arrives. He tells Gorya, "Now this land belongs to the Parama Group. The owner of this land has sold this house to Madam." At that moment, Gorya gets a call from Time's mom. She says, "I am in Thailand right now. If you want to talk to me, come to my house." Just then, Time says to his mom, "Gorya will not talk to you. This time, you have crossed your limits." His mom says, "I am just doing business." His mom says, "This game is just like your red card game that you used to play in school. I have given Gorya a red card. If you can stop me, then show me." Everyone tells Time, "Don't worry about us." Then they ask, "Why are you not with Gorya?" Time explains, "She wants to stay with Caning right now." Ren asks, "How can we help you? Tell us whatever needs to be done. We are ready." Meanwhile, in the flower shop, the two of them are talking. Gorya says, "She wants to separate me from Time, but I will not let that happen." Her uncle says, "Those people are powerful." Gorya says, "I am not afraid of them." Just then, her uncle shows her a room and says, "This has been vacant for a long time. You can stay here, and don't worry about money at all. You will keep getting your salary every month." Now everyone brings things for her new home. Time says, "You are not alone at all. We are all with you." Ren says, "We also want to help." So now Gorya also agrees. Everyone together sets up the room nicely. Gorya asks Time, "What will we do now?" Time says, "I don't know, but for a few days I won't go home. I will stay at Ren's house, and after today, you don't need to fight alone. I am always with you." Gorya asks, "When will your mom accept us?" Time says, "I don't know. Let's see who gives up first, me or mom." Gorya says, "I was sad the whole time, but I am happy since you came." She is about to kiss Time, but just then everyone arrives there. They say, "Time has grown up now." Time runs to hit them. Just then, Time gets a call from someone and he becomes very tense. MJ and Kevin tell Gorya, all of Time's cards have been blocked and there's a rumor. People are saying, Time's mom is going to disown him from the Parama Group. Just then, they hear her uncle shouting, so they run outside. It turns out that this shop no longer belongs to her uncle either. Just then, Connie gets a call from her dad. It turns out that her dad has also been fired from his job. Time was very tense. Ren asks him, "What should we do now?" Flashback scene. We see the auntie had told Time, "Your mom will do everything to separate you and Gorya, but you must not be afraid. Whenever we try to do something good, problems always arise. The more your mom hurts Gorya, the more Gorya's powers will increase." Then we see Gorya going to meet Time's mom. She says, "I know you are smart. I cannot defeat you. I will go away from Time. You make everything like it was before." Time's mom says, "You are smart. You understood quickly." Gorya explains, "Time used to be just like you, someone who would do anything to win. But now he has changed. He will never become the person you want him to be. Even if we are not together, he will never love you." She says, There must be something about you. That's why you changed time. I did very wrong by you. I'm sorry for that. When Gorya comes out from there, she sees that Time had called her many times. Just then, Gorya calls him and asks, "Can we meet?" Time comes to her and asks, "What did my mom talk to you about?" Gorya says, "I went to convince your mom, and she has agreed." Time hugs her, but Gorya was looking very sad. Then she asks him to go for a walk. After having fun for a long time, they are talking. Gorya asks him, "What will you do in the future?" Time says, "I will handle the Parama group with you." Flashback scene. We see Time's mom saying, "Time hates me, but Time is my last hope to handle the Parama group." Present. Time says, "I will completely change the Parama group. Doing so will change people's lives. It will help people, and the business will also grow." Time's mom says, "The Parama group has many enemies. If I make Time the head, the other companies will defeat him. They'll think he is a child. He has to learn the business." Time says to Gorya, "It will take 15 to 20 years to complete what I have decided. Give me time, I will show you everything." His mom says, "Time needs time, but if things continue like this, everything will be finished, because Time doesn't know anything." Just then, it starts to rain. He tells Gorya to go, but Gorya stays right there. Time asks, "What happened?" Gorya says, "We should break up." Time says, "This is all because of my mom, isn't it?" Gorya denies it. Time asks, "Who did she hurt this time?" Gorya says, "She gave me a paper." Time asks, "What kind of paper?" Gorya explains, "She gave me a check." In a flashback, Time's mom shows Gorya her medical report and says, "I have cancer." She continues, "Time needs time to learn the business, but I don't have time. If something happens to me, everything will be over. If something happens to me, everything will be over. Time's life will be ruined. I don't want that. That's why I am forcing Time to grow up quickly. After me, Time will run the Parama group, and you are the only person who can make him like he was before. As a mother, I am requesting you, make Time like he was before." Then she hugs Gorya and breaks down in tears. Present. Time asks, "She gave you money, and you took the money? Do I look like a fool to you?" Gorya says, "She gave me money to stay away from you, and I took it. To be honest, I have never seen so much money in my life." Time says, "I know you are lying. You can never take money." Gorya says, "The person you know, I am not her. I did everything in school just to get your attention because I knew you were rich." Time asks, "Was everything that happened between us a lie?" Gorya says, "It was very difficult to pretend to be in love with you. Everything happened according to my plan. Now I don't need to act anymore." Time still couldn't believe it. He says to Gorya, "Tell me the truth." Time says, "How can this be true? How much money did she give you?" Gorya says, "A lot of money." Seeing Time cry, Gorya also starts to cry and says, "You are a child. You can't do anything. Grow up. This is my last piece of advice." Time asks, "Have you ever seen me as a normal person?" Gorya returns his pendant and says, "If you were a normal person, I wouldn't have even looked at you." Time throws the pendant far away and leaves from there. Gorya keeps looking at the pendant, and the next day, she leaves for her village. She sits on the train and looks at a box. Flashback scene. We see Gorya had taken that pendant back. In the next scene, the manager says to Rosalind, "Gorya has left from here, and now Time has to learn the business." Just then, Rosalind burns her medical reports. Then a scene from 1 year later is shown. We see Time, who has become the CEO of the company. If people's performance is poor, he fires them from their jobs. Seeing all this, his mom is very happy. Tia comes to him and says, "You are doing a bit too much. Those people have been working for us for a long time. You are becoming just like Mom. You were better when you were with Gorya." Then one day, news about farmers is playing on TV, and just then, Ren spots Gorya. Then Ren comes to Time, shows him Gorya's photo on his phone, and says, "I know where Gorya is." On the other side, when Gorya reaches home, some people were harassing her family. Gorya asks them why they are doing all this. They start demanding their money back. All those people push Gorya and go inside the house. Gorya was very tense. Just then, a car stops there, and Ren gets out of it. Gorya asks him, "How did you get here?" A lady asks, "Is this your boyfriend who will return our money?" Ren says yes. Then he returns all the people's money, cleans Gorya's clothes, and says, "You can return my money later. I know you don't want help, but I want to help." Gorya asks, "What do you want?" Ren says, "I am hungry." So Gorya makes noodles for him. She gives Ren the noodles and says, "I don't know if you will like it or not." Ren says, "If you made it, it must be tasty." Gorya's parents go to prepare a room for him, but Gorya stops them. Ren says, I want to stay right here. Can I stay here? Gorya says, you can stay as long as you want. Then we see Ren helping a lot with their farming. Gorya's parents' boat gets stuck, so Ren jumps into the water and helps them. Gorya asks, what do you want me to do? Ren then asks her, will you go on a date with me? Then we see the three of them at the beach. They enjoy a lot there. Gorya's brother says, ever since she came here, she hasn't even smiled. She has forgotten how to smile. Thank you for today. In the next scene, we see Tia. She tells Time, the company you canceled the contract with will be ruined. She asks Time, will you do nothing at all? His mom says, you don't have a better choice than this. Only your signature is left. The future of the Parama Group is in your hands. On the other side, when Gorya comes home, Ren was not there. Just then, Ren calls her and asks, can you meet me? Time had signed the file. Just then, we see someone kidnapping Time. Ren asks Gorya, how do you feel living here? Gorya says, this place is nice, but life here is hard. Many adjustments have to be made, but I won't go back. Ren says, even after coming so far, you haven't been able to forget Time, because Time is your home. Gorya starts to cry. Ren, laughing, shows a video on his phone. MJ and Kevin were the ones who kidnapped Time. Gorya says, why are you showing me this? Ren says, keep watching. You will get your answers. Time asks, is this all a joke? Kevin says, if that deal is successful tomorrow, then the power of the entire country will be in your mom's hands. Then, even if they want to, no one will be able to stop her. Time says, I can't do anything, so let me go. MJ says, the love lecture is still left because only love can fix you. Time says, there is no place for love in all these things. MJ says, no matter how risky your idea is, we are with you because we love you very much. Kevin says, the future you want is possible. We are here for Gorya. If she can change you so much, then why can't we? Trust your heart. Time stands up with his hands open. Both of them get scared, but Time goes and hugs them and asks, I can still do this, right? Kevin asks him, you still think about Gorya, don't you? Time says, I think about Gorya all the time. Hearing this, Gorya also starts to cry. Ren tells Gorya, your brother told me about Time's mom's cancer. If Time's mom had cancer, I would have known. You have been fooled. Gorya shouts and says to Time, I'm sorry. I am a huge idiot. On the other hand, Time had left for the meeting. MJ tells Ren, everything is fine here. Gorya immediately says to Ren, go to Bangkok. Meanwhile, the meeting had started and Time also arrives there. He says, I was preparing documents all night. His mom asks, what documents? Time says to everyone, see my new policy. His mom says, I will not let this happen. On the other side, Gorya had also arrived there. Time first talks about his mom's policy, which has always profited the Parama Group. This time, they have to raise a fund of 7 billion. After that, he talks about his policy, which won't bring much profit, but no company associated with them will be ruined. Time says, the work is a bit difficult, but not impossible. And here is the proof. MJ, Kevin, and Ren have already given Time a fund of 3 billion. These three are ready for this project, he continues. Now, you all can tell me your decision, but I have one condition. Parama Group will have to follow my policy. This project will be successful and I am guaranteeing it. No one says anything, so Time's mom starts to smile and apologizes to everyone. Just then, a man stands up and says, my company will support Time's policy. Then, one by one, all the people agree. Just then, Kevin messages him, Gorya is coming to see you. Tia says, I will handle the meeting. Time runs out of there. While running, he bumps into someone. He recognizes the man. He was the owner of the Sichan company. His company was ruined because of them. Time's mom comes out of the meeting. Meanwhile, Gorya's shoelace breaks. The owner of the Sichan company was about to stab Time's mom, but just then, Time comes in between, and the knife hits him. Seeing this, everyone gets scared. The news of Time being stabbed appears on TV. Then, Time is taken to the hospital. Due to excessive bleeding, his condition is quite serious. On the other side, we see Gorya, who was crying a lot. Time's treatment was ongoing, and on social media, everyone was praying for him. Just then, Ren gets a call from Kevin, who tells him Time has regained consciousness. Kevin tells him something else that shocks Ren. Gorya comes and asks, what happened? Kevin explains, on Time's mom's orders, we are not being allowed to meet Time. Kevin says, I just know that Time is not the same as before. Meanwhile, Time's mom was getting angry at the doctors. The doctor explains, Time has a brain injury, and his heartbeat had even stopped for some time. Rosalind says, I don't know anything, you have to fix him. Tia says, Time is alive, that's enough, and he will get well soon. Rosalind asks Time, what do you remember? Then she shows him photos of F4. Time remembers his friends, but when she shows Gorya's photo, Time says no. Tia was telling her not to do this, but her mom has her removed from there. She says to Time, your dream is to rule the Parama group, and if you want to win, you have to obey me. To which Time says, yes. Time is brought outside, but the bodyguards don't let anyone meet him. Gorya pushes them and reaches Time, asking, are you okay? Time says, who are you and how did you touch me? Just then, Tia comes and says to Gorya, please forgive me, I couldn't help you. Or, Gorya asks her, what happened? Tia explains, Time has a brain injury and because of that he doesn't remember anything from the last 4 years. His memories of the last 4 years are gone, and Mom is taking advantage of this. She has stopped Time's treatment because she wants to restart everything from scratch and wants to remove you from Time's life. In the flower shop, the uncle looks at Gorya and says, will she be able to move on? Just then, Gorya shouts, Time, how can you forget me? MJ asks Gorya, you will fight to bring back Time's memories, won't you? Gorya says yes and asks, how will we do it? Kaven says, don't you worry about that. I have made the whole plan. At that moment, Gorya reaches Time's room. Everyone had made this plan. Gorya says to Time, I need to talk to you about something. Gorya shows him a photo and says, I am your girlfriend. When we went on a date, you bought this for me. Then she also shows him all the messages exchanged between them. She gives Time the same cookies and says, I made these same cookies on your birthday. You said, I look more handsome than the cookie. Time says, Mom was right, you can't be trusted. Photos can be edited. Gorya says, I am telling the truth. Time says, do I look stupid to you? And then he says to the guard, get her out. Gorya tells him, shut up. Time says, my shirt is very expensive, and pushes her, saying, no matter what you say, I don't trust you one bit. Why would I be in a relationship with a loser girl like you? Gorya kicks him and says, your memory is gone. What's the need to be so arrogant? Become like you were before. I am waiting for you. Then she says, I love you very much. Time slowly starts to remember everything. Gorya says to him, remember something. But just then, Time's mom arrives there. Time's mom has Gorya thrown out of the house. She says, how dare you enter my house and hurt my son? Gorya says, I am not hurting Time. You are. You don't understand his feelings at all. You just use him for your own work. She slaps Gorya and says, whatever I am doing is right for Time. Then she says to the guard, never let her come inside again. Then we see Gorya, who was waiting right there all night, drenched in the rain. Gorya is feeling cold. Just then, Time's mom comes and says, how long will you wait here? You know I won't let you meet Time. Gorya says, I need to talk to you. Then she says, I have understood why you were so angry. You are not selfish and you love Time very much. You behave very rudely with Time. You did all this because you want him to rule the Parama group one day, but you didn't think about his happiness. In a flashback scene, we see Tia had told her mom, Gorya is fighting as if to get everything just like you do, but she only wants Time. You should also think about Time's happiness. Gorya doesn't want your power or money. Time's mom says, I know Time well. Ever since he was little, he used to talk about managing the Parama group. Gorya says, he wanted to do all this for you so that you would feel proud of Time. He loves you very much. He told me, no one talks while eating, not even a laugh. When he had dinner with my family, then he understood the meaning of family. He doesn't want much more. If he can eat happily with his family, that's enough for him. He will be happy with just that. You want me not to meet him? That's fine. I want you to see him smile, just like I have seen him smile. Time's mom remembers. Time never smiled in front of her, but when he was with Gorya, he was happy. Just then, Time arrives there. He asks, how do you know about my smile? It's not like you're saying. My dream is to come out on top. Gorya says, your dream is something else. Time shouts at her, be quiet, and says, you don't know me at all. Gorya says, I know you. Time says, the one who knows me doesn't argue with me. You are saying you are my girlfriend, but look at your condition. You are scared of me. Gorya crying says, come back. Time says, come back to what? I am like this. Go back to where you came from. Gorya says, I can't change you again. I love you very much. Time shouts at her, leave. Gorya, crying, leaves from there. While going inside the house, Time sees Gorya's pendant. It had fallen when he was throwing her out of the house. Seeing the pendant, Time starts to remember everything. Just then, his mom says to him, open the gate. As soon as Time remembers everything, he runs and reaches Gorya. He asks Gorya, did I put this pendant on you? You must have forced me to do all this. Gorya says, we were a couple. Time says, that can't be. I never had a girlfriend. Just then, he starts to cough. Gorya goes to him, and Time says, stay away from me. He had a fever, so Gorya says to him, take medicine. When Time refuses, she says, don't be stubborn. Time had remembered everything. Gorya smiles. Time, angry at himself, says, I hurt you again. Gorya says, you remembered everything, and that is enough for me. Time posts a photo of himself and Gorya on social media, which makes the three of them happy. In the next scene, we see that Gorya has her last exam and her parents had also returned to Bangkok. After that day, Time went to the USA for 4 years for further studies. Now he has become a big businessman. MJ and Kevin drop Gorya to school daily. Gorya says, I will go by bus. Kevin says, your boyfriend gave the order. In a flashback scene, we see Time had taught his friends many rules, and according to rule number 76, no boy will be seen around Gorya. Gorya says, today is the last day, so I want to go by myself. MJ says, all right, we will meet at the prom. Gorya asks them, are you guys coming too? Kevin says, we will come. Don't know about Time. Are you missing him? Gorya agrees and says to them, you can leave. MJ says, at least let us wish you luck. They both kiss her on the forehead and say, I hope you top. Seeing this, the girls start screaming. Gorya says, now no one gets a red card. Even if someone bothers someone or the other saves them. After completing the exam, Gorya is on the rooftop when Ren arrives. He gives Gorya a box and says, Time sent this for you for the prom. Inside the box is a dress. Today, her dad had to deliver some goods, but due to his ill health, Gorya had to do that work. Everyone was waiting for her. MJ says, prom night is about to end if she doesn't arrive on time. Ren says, she will arrive. Gorya arrives after the party is over and sits down, tired. There she finds a card from F4 with directions written on it. Gorya follows those directions and reaches the stadium. The three of them come out and scare her. Ren says, the one who gave you the red card is waiting for you inside. Inside, a screen was set up. Time says, why are you so late? And what are you wearing? I sent you a dress. Gorya says, I'm sorry. The dress fell in the mud. Gorya asks him, are you not busy? Time says yes and adds, this is all I can do for you. Are you sad? Your boyfriend is not with you. Gorya says no and says, you should work. Time says, you haven't seen your boyfriend for a year? Are you not even a little sad? Gorya says, I am a little sad. Time says, I will cancel all my schedules. The three of them come and say, enough, that's enough. Gorya says, but you were in the USA. Time says, how could I not come to my girlfriend's prom night? Time comes to her and says, I managed to find time with great difficulty. Gorya says, this is a surprise. Time says, the surprise is yet to come. I have completed my work in the US and have come back. Everyone thinks he will get down on his knees and propose to her, but he just starts tying his shoelaces and says, if you want to study further, I will wait. Everyone becomes sad. Time asks, what happened? Gorya says, you don't know how to do anything. MJ says to everyone, let's celebrate. Gorya explains, everyone helped me a lot. First is MJ, who is a very big businessman. He is always ready for his friends. He is a mafia, but a soft-hearted person. Second is Kevin, who is a playboy, but he also has a soft side. No matter what people think of him from the outside, he is a very good person on the inside. And the third is Ren, who is my first love. He is a person who can tell what people are thinking just by looking at them. In the end, he understood me the most. Last is Time, the leader of the F4 group, who changed my life. He taught me, love is not given with power and money, but is done from the heart. And here, the drama ends.